Hey guys, I'm going to be starting in a little bit about 7 minutes. So if you are here and watching, please be sure to comment. See, Clark has already said he's here. Hi, Clark. Great to have you here. If you're also watching Facebook, uh, YouTube and LinkedIn. So I can see all the chats in this one chat box here. Please invite others. It would, I would love to have a bunch of people to give it to have the option to give it away to. So invite others. You have to be present to win. Hello and good morning to you too. We're going to start in a few minutes. And touch up my hair a little bit. So I will be back in a bit. Please invite others, share, comment. And I think there, yeah. So I'll be giving away a really great prize today, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Type something in the comments, guys, so I know that you can hear me. Little bit. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So you need to be live to win. And this is going to be pretty short. So only if someone is on live can they win. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. Today, I want to share with you the Reachology bundle. And the Reachology bundle is a combination of gifts all in one. So we're going to talk about our influence score, the Reachology book, access to the Audience Finder AI tool, and an offer to have for your offer to be on PSI TV for 30 days. So all we're doing here over at PSI TV is to help you have the competitive advantage. And today we're talking about the Reachology bundle. The bundle includes my Reachology book, the certificate that you get when you complete the Reachology quiz, which will give you a score of a baseline score for your influential reach. You'll also get access to the Audience Finder AI tool. I built that tool. And an opportunity to have your offer aired on PSI TV for 30 days. It's a very specific video. All right, so first of all, the Reachology book. The Reachology book, I know you can't, let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, the Reachology book, yes, the Reachology book is not just a book, it's a bundle. So when you place an order, somebody's going to win this today. But when you place the order for the Reachology bundle, it comes with the Reachology book. If you get the physical book, fine. But there's, hey Lizzie, there's also, hey CT, hey CT showing up on here, but it's actually Jamila. So if you hear me say Jamila, that's what I really mean. That's her real name. So, or the name I use for her. So what you'll also get, if you get the physical book, is a card which has the QR code to access everything. But you can also get the ebook version. So whether you get the physical book or the ebook, you'll get the book, the access to the score, access to my Audience Finder tool, and an opportunity to have your offer aired on PSI TV for 30 days, whether you get the ebook or the physical book. So let me go back to the presentation here. All right, so let's go into that a little bit. The certificate. So when you take the Reachology quiz, it's going to tell you how much influence you have. There's a little delay on what I'm seeing on the screen because all these different platforms are operating at different paces. So I just want to see if the screen changes for me so I know that I've actually switched this thing correctly. Probably not. Let's see. Let me go back to StreamYard and add to stage. Okay, there we go. All right, so there we go. Now it's good. So when you take the quiz, I'm going to pop over into that page for a minute. Now, when you get the bundle, you're going to have access to the Reachology score. When you take the score, when you take the quiz, okay, it is going to give you a baseline measure of your influential reach. Now, what that means is a lot of us are big fish in a small pond. Why am I not seeing this? Is there that much of a delay? I am not seeing. Okay, so I'm playing with StreamYard and it should be showing the next slide. Why is it not showing? Let me do share screen instead of share slide. Why is it showing? It is showing the right thing. Oh, I need to add the next thing to. Oh, I see. Okay, so I don't know why it won't click in here. All right, so I am learning some new things here today, guys. I usually use Zoom, but Zoom cannot do the simulcast. And I knew that StreamYard would, but I didn't realize StreamYard doesn't work quite as well as Zoom. So when I'm clicking this link, it's not, oh, there, the link is not working in StreamYard. So I'll just have to describe it to you because I don't know how to add anything other than a slide to my, it's okay, share, stops. But it says I'm sharing my screen. I apologize. I'm just going to share screen. It should be sharing screen. All right, well, let me just go back to the presentation because I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so, all right. StreamYard does not work like Zoom does. So the score, you just have to take my word for it. When you, whoever wins will have access to all of this, okay? When you take the Reachology score, this is something that was a product from my doctoral work. What you're going to measure is your current level of influential reach, your baseline score. So a lot of times we know we're influential with our immediate sphere of influence. We know we have influence over these many people, but today the economy is based on the currency of attention. And so even if you're a big fish in a small pond, the idea is to jump ponds and grow again. This is how your influence will expand from your small group of peers to maybe your town, your city, your state, your nation, and globally. And this is important. When I was growing up as a child, my father, poor little country boy in the backwoods of Jamaica, ended up becoming a global name. Maybe a lot of you would never know him, but within his circle definitely expanded from the back bushes of Jamaica to the town, to the country as a nation. And he went to, got known in United States, throughout the Caribbean, and eventually around the world. And his biggest name to claim was he was the plenary speaker at the Billy Graham Foundation event in 2000, the Billy Graham Amsterdam 2000, which had 10,000 evangelists present. So he was a plenary speaker. He and Billy Graham were peers, spent many stages together. And I watched my father, a little country boy from the backwoods of Jamaica, grow in influence and reach. And TV was primarily a big part of that equation, which is one of the reasons why I really reached out for TV. But when you take this quiz, you're going to get a baseline score, and it's going to measure a lot of different things. So if you go on social media influencers are determined by how many followers they have, and it does not matter if they have an ounce of sense in their head. So you'll find the influencer, talking about fitness and all that, and they may or may not be into fitness. They may not be any kind of expert in those things. So, and then there are other scores, and Carlton's on. I know he knows TOEFL, and they have a score, the KPI score, which was around for many years ago. It does not measure your social media following. So there are various influence scores out there, and mine definitely filled a gap. So the score that I created, the Reachology score, is going to measure a person's credentials, experience, publications, following, and digital footprint. So you clearly your credentials. So if you're certified in this, you have a license in that, you went to school for so and so, that's your credentials. Your experience. So sometimes you don't have the credentials, but you have 5 years of experience, 10 years of experience in the thing, or you have a lived experience. And sometimes, guys, your lived experience will trump somebody's credentials. So if someone has, and I'm picking on you, Carlton, just because you're here. Lizzie, I really present. Sorry, here it didn't scroll up. Hey, Lizzie, I see you. So if you are, let's say you lost 100 pounds, you're not a certified fitness instructor, but you lost 100 pounds. That's your lived experience. And then you start to tell people what you did. Sometimes that person who lost 100 pounds will carry more influence than the person who has all the degrees and all the credentials in that space. So my score measures your credentials, your experience, your publications. Now, any one of you who is an author, and I know Clark is, Carlton is, not sure about, I don't think Jamila or Lizzie, I don't know. Have you ever written a book, Lizzie? So if you have ever written a book, even if you had zero sales, the fact of the matter is you are a published author on a particular topic, assuming it's not fiction. Okay, if you've written a book on a topic, then even if somebody doesn't agree with you, they're likely to have to quote you. Okay, so that's the power of being published. And when you say that you've been published on something, people just tend to see, well, you put some thoughts into this, you actually take the time. It's not a small matter to write a book. So when people publish a book, whether or not they've made sales, whether or not they're a bestseller, the act of publishing a book establishes a credential in a space. So we're looking at your publications. Of course, it does measure if you've had, if your book was a bestseller, because that means you also have the reach, not just the credentials, right? So it measures your credentials, your experience, your publication, your following. It does take into consideration your social media following. Now, I have had social media influencers work for me, and I can tell you that a lot of them, you don't, by the way, they now have things that they call nano influencers, micro influencers, and so you don't have to have a very big following to be considered an influencer. If you have as few as 1,000 followers, this is research. This is not truly speaking. This is research. Academic research is finding this, is reporting this. If you have a following as few as 1,000 people, but they are engaging with your stuff, there you would be considered a nano influencer. And believe it or not, people will pay you to help them reach the audience if the audience you serve is their ideal audience. So it takes into consideration your following. Now, some people also will have massive reach on a single platform. But because we don't own these social media platforms, guys, it is dangerous to focus on just a single platform. What a lot of YouTubers are reporting now, also the research findings, is that if you get your page banned or your monetization cut down, or Facebook puts you in Facebook jail or anything, when your following is on a single platform and anything goes wrong with that, you've lost everything. So what a lot of these influencers are realizing, that they still have to engage with their audience in other ways, get their email, get their phone number so they can have them in a text blast. So it also is going to measure your reach. I've had one of the questions in the score asks about your email list. Believe it or not, I'm working with a lady who's running for public office. I'm trying to help her win. And her email list only had like 100 emails. And those are really family and friends. I'm like, girl, you've got to have email contact with people. This is the mistake this is how Obama won the election, guys. He had a strong grassroots access. He managed to use social media like no one in politics had done before. So it's a thing. So it measures also your social media following. And then, of course, it also measures your digital footprint. Digital footprint is, if I went to Google and I typed in your name, what is going to come up for you? One of the things that I found with PSI TV is when people come to PSI TV, they're not just on an ego trip, guys. They're not just saying, I want to be on TV because I want to be on TV. It's an ego trip. No, the ego buzz is there, but it's a side effect. It's a side benefit. People are coming to TV. When they come to TV, to be on my show, they're also looking for access to a brand new audience and a bigger reach than they personally have. So because of that, I realized, oh my gosh, one of the persons who came to me, now he was an immigrant that had relocated. He's a professor at a university. He had written a book. And of course, he feels influential. He's a professor. He has his degrees. He has all these students who are, brown nosing, so to speak. So he feels influential. But when he took the score, he realized he didn't really have influential reach. He might have been a big fish in his very tiny pond. But if he wants to make book sales, I'm sorry, after your family and friends have bought the book, you need a little bit more reach. So when he took the score, he realized that one of the things was he had zero digital presence. Zero. When he did my show, he had zero digital presence. But because of his interaction with me and my understanding of why people are coming to PSI TV. I used to see myself in the TV business. I realized very quickly I'm in the influential reach business, because that's the real desire of people who come and make the effort of being on podcasts, of writing blogs, of showing up on Facebook Lives. They are really actively pursuing an expanded audience, an expanded level of influence, an expanded level of influential reach. So having been on my show, I said to him, you don't even have a LinkedIn presence. So I made him create a LinkedIn profile. And then shortly after being on PSI TV, I Googled him again, and literally everything on page one was the work that I did. The number one spot was his LinkedIn presence. No big deal there, because LinkedIn is important, but he didn't have the LinkedIn presence before he connected with me. So what the Reachologist score is going to show you is not only your baseline score where you are right now, but the gaps. So for example, if your email list is only 100 people, that is a place that you can grow, so that you can continue to stay in touch with people, even if you haven't made a Facebook blast or Facebook decides to shut you down for whatever reason. Now, the book that goes with the score just goes deeper into those examples of credentials and all of that. So it's a deeper dive into the concepts that the score measures. That is part of the gift. The Audience Finder is an AI tool that I created. I did use open source technology, so I'm not drafting from scratch. But the Audience Finder is an AI tool. What you'll do is when you get access to it, you plug in your offer and you put in as much information as you can. And what it will do is it will spit out the top 3 audience segments. Now, there's a difference between an audience segment and an avatar. In marketing, anybody who's pursuing marketing, you're going to hear, oh, you need to have an avatar. And you do want to write your thoughts with an avatar in mind, but a marketing segment is a little bit more than just an avatar. So an avatar might be Lance Armstrong. Okay, I might say, oh, I have a bicycle that I'm selling. I'm a bicycle business, and so I might speak to a Lance Armstrong as my avatar, but my market segment would be athletic cyclist. So there's a difference between saying I'm in that bicycle business, because am I trying to sell to a 6-year-old who's getting their first bike with trainers? Or am I trying to sell to the athletes who are going to take that business seriously and want all the bells and whistles? So that's what the Audience Finder is going to do for you. Everything I'm doing, guys, is in the space of influential reach. Now, the gift also comes with a 5-minute video, which will air on PSI TV for 30 days. This video is very specific. It is not an interview. So if you win and you get the book, and then you get the card if you have the physical book, or if you win and I email it to you and you get the ebook version, it will also have all the instructions for you to create the 5-minute video that you will send to me, that will be up on PSI TV for 30 days, just in time for the holidays. So what that video is it's going to have a very specific format. And one of the key pieces that must be in the video is the example of the 16-word sales letter. But I do have an example for that if you haven't read the book, because I want that your offer is not just some rambling of you going on, because a lot of people have no idea how to pitch their offer, and they're just talking about themselves, and people don't care about you, about anything to do with you. They're always, what's in it for me? So that video set of instructions is going to help you craft that great video, and it will air on PSI TV for 30 days. Now, guys, if I were to price each of these things out, it is a very expensive gift. But if you were to have purchased this gift from me, I have it at a promotional price of $97. So at the very least, this is a $97 gift to someone today. So I am pretty much done with this presentation. The only person who can win is someone who is currently on live. Okay, the whole idea here. So the website, when you get to it, it's going to look like this with some additional stuff. It will give you access to the ebook, to the quiz, to the Audience Finder tool, and to the instructions for the video. Now, if you are not the winner and you want to purchase this, great. Right now, the promotional price, definitely until the end of the year, is $97. Fingers crossed. I see that, Robert. So FYI, that is the offer we want for you. If you're a big fish in a small pond, to jump ponds and grow again. So we are done. I'm going to pick my winner. And let's see. Now I need to do this fairly. How am I going to do this fairly? So I'm going to, let's see. I want you to pick a number. I have a number in my head, 1 to 5. If you pick the number I have in my head, write it in the comments, and then I'll tell you if you won. So I have a random number in my head between 1 and 5. You have to write the number. And whoever puts it first is the winner, even if 2 people get it. Okay, I have one number. I have another number. I have 2 people with. All right, so Lizzie, you are the winner. Number 4 was my choice. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Carlton. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you, Clark. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Lizzie. Was anybody else on? All of you guys, you're so awesome. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being on with me today. And Lizzie, congratulations. Connect with me for how you're going to access your prize. All right, guys, thank you so much. Bye.